She's originally from Dallas, Texas. Cheryl Allison, welcome to Actors eChat.
Thank you.
Is the lead of Illness. How does it feel when people say you're the lead of Illness?
Well, it feels great.
Yes,
I was so honored to do it.
Do you have mental illness in your family? If you're okay with talking about it.
I actually don't.
Okay.
I actually don't. So I did a lot of research.
So you haven't known people personally that you could relate to and say, okay, when I'm doing this, I need to understand
Not
Tom
in my family.
or whomever.
I don't. But actually, when I was offered the role, I started my preparation for it, and it was interesting. I had put on Facebook.
How were you offered the role?
Well, Karina, our producer, who you
Yes,
just met, she had no choice but to hire me.
I had heard the rumors
because
of that.
we've
You
been
had
such
pictures
close
of
friends.
her,
Exactly.
going back 20 years.
And knowing her for 22 years,
Yes.
she had no choice.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So when you first put it out to the world, hey, I'm going to be doing a lead in a film about mental illness, how did your peers react to that?
Well, it was interesting because when I started talking about it a little bit on Facebook, I had friends reaching out to me that I hadn't seen for 25 years.
And this is your Facebook page?
That's my Facebook page, yes. From high school, that they started private messaging me, telling me that they had a daughter or a son who suffered with mental illness, and if I'd like to talk with them and hear their story. So it was really amazing and about how prevalent it is and how it affects so many people.
I think it's like a lot of things. We hear the numbers they give. Are the numbers really real? Because there's those who won't admit it, those who won't go get diagnosed, a myriad of things.
Right.
It may be more prevalent than we realize. Certainly our government is suffering from it most of the time. What the revelation was when you started to delve into this and actually do the project?
When I started researching it and the facts, I was really blown away by it. I couldn't believe it. And I started talking one-on-one with some friends and hearing their personal stories and how they were being shunned, and their children weren't invited to play with other kids or partake in certain, groups at school. And then when I met...
So completely ostracized from the group.
Exactly. And when I met Randy Silverman, who Karina's talked about, she was a huge influence on me, because this film really is a window into her life, and several of the events that happen in our film represented some things that she went through.
So you actually got to learn firsthand from someone who's experienced these types of things. Have you become more involved in NAMI and the cause to help mental illness as a result of this?
Yes, because of this film and talking about it, and I'm very much involved now with the team in going out and hopefully, especially the educational purposes, and trying to get a sort of a curriculum in schools and have the awareness raised.
Now, you both have talked about a curriculum in schools. What are you envisioning? Because there are so many different types of mental illness, just like there are addiction. Alcoholism, you may not treat the same way you would heroin addiction. Schizophrenia probably isn't the same as bipolar.
Right. Well,
how does that work?
Well, I think that we're hoping to get into the educational system and start a program where we're raising awareness with teachers, having it communicated with the students, so they're not fearful of it, because they are ostracized and blame is placed.
And it's not something you're going to catch like a cold or a flu from someone.
It's not something that you can go into a doctor, they x-ray you, and they say, okay, there is the point of the problem.
And right after surgery, this will be fixed.
Well, like we compared it to cancer. You can go in, you can locate it, figure out the course of treatment. And mental illness is not that easy. It's very complex, and you can have many different things. Sometimes you're not just bipolar. You're bipolar with something else. And that's the issue. And I think children, especially in schools, that they're just labeled as behavioral problems, that sort of thing. They act out, and then the parents are blamed, and not enough discipline at home. And a lot of times that's not the case.
Not the case. And what's interesting, now that I just flashed on this, this film and Homeland, which the whole theme of the main character is about bipolar and mental illness, we're now starting to make it so we can talk about it. When it becomes in television and film and print, now it's okay for us to talk about it. It opens the door. It's
the last stigma that we need to reach. Just like, now cancer is talked about. Where's the ribbon for mental illness?
You started out singing and dancing and performing from childhood. Did you ever think when you were 5 or 6 doing your first chorus as a Mezzo-soprano?
Lyric coloratura.
I see.
Yes, I have the high notes.
Really up
I
there.
refuse
so you
to be
break
labeled
the
as a
glass.
mezzo.
I see. You
No.
break the glass.
Right, I do.
So when you're out breaking glass, did you ever think you would be doing something like this? And why are you so passionate about it?
You know what? I didn't. You know, I started out in musical theater, and actually...
That's your musical side, in fact.
There it is. There it is right
So
there.
we can hear you break glass there.
Yeah, it may not be pretty,
Okay.
but I make it do it. But I actually met Karina doing Camelot. That's where we met. We were doing
Oh,
a
so
New
she
York
was
production.
singing with you.
She was, and she is a
I missed
mezzo-soprano.
that.
That's why I'm talking
see.
about not being a mezzo-soprano.
I see. You have to distinguish here, my friend.
Exactly. So we met doing Camelot, and that has been the bulk of my career is doing musical theater.
Doing Camelot.
Yes,
Okay.
I've done Camelot for 20 plus years.
Okay, great.
But so doing the theater, and then have started to get more involved with film and TV.
Which do you prefer? Because they're so very different in stage. You've got to project to the balcony, and on a set for television or film, you have to be more intimate sometimes.
You know what? I can't say which I like best. The thing I love about theater is that it's live, very much like this. You don't know what's going to happen. You got to go with it. The show must go on.
Right.
And I do love the instant applause. You know, I like that instant gratification.
And you don't always get that on a live
and you
set.
don't get that. But you know, filming Illness was so interesting because you get to do it a lot. You get to try different things, and
Here's your IMDb page.
There's my
You were on
IMDb.
Dallas?
I am working on Dallas last season and this season.
Oh, okay, because I didn't see you with the original JR unless you were like this
Well,
tall.
I had the honor of meeting Larry, yes, last year,
cool.
and I can't tell you, he was an amazing man. Amazing man. And
Now, growing up in Dallas, and the Dallas shoots actually taking place in Dallas, did you, as a child, go to the sets and say, someday I'm going to be on Dallas?
Well, actually, the original series was not shot in Dallas.
The outside
I mean, well, yeah,
the
they would do shots of South Fork or things like that, but it was...
I've been there, I know they did.
Yeah,
oh,
but
there's Larry.
That's right, there's Larry.
Yes.
Larry Hagman. But it was filmed in Los Angeles. But now this...
They look so much alike, too, don't they?
Right, of course, yeah, exactly.
Dallas.
But so now this new series of Dallas is being shot completely 100%
on
in
location.
Dallas. Yeah, we have studios there at the Southside Studios, and they shoot at South.
I think they put those in after I left. When did the Southside Studios go in?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know when it is.
Or maybe not. Maybe they were there and I just don't remember them. I used to live in Addison.
Oh, you did?
Where you sang for the city or something, I heard.
When I was in high school,
Here's the Dallas, what's this, double?
That's the, that's one of our season posters. I think that might be season 2 poster.
Okay.
There, yeah. No, in Addison I sang, it was right after high school, they decided to do a professional show choir called Celebration USA, and we went around singing on behalf of the town of Addison.
Singing
I don't
around the
have
country?
that on my resume,
No,
but I did do
not.
it.
Yes.
I did do it.
Okay. So, in doing a project like this, where do you see it helping the overall message of what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, I think raising awareness and doing things like what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Having people talk about it. It was interesting. Yesterday, at our first day at La Femme, we were at the cinemas seeing some screenings, and another filmmaker came up to us and was interested in our film, asking us what it's about.
Oh, look at Mental Illness Awareness Week is taking place.
It is.
Wow.
It was last week. But,
we can still make people aware this week.
Right.
Okay.
But this filmmaker came up to us yesterday, and she said, a couple of years ago, she was suffering from depression and was dealing with a mental illness disorder, and she got help. So it just sparks conversation everywhere you go.
So while the affliction is still there, she may not be suffering as much anymore. We'll be talking more about that in just a moment. Stay tuned. Karina Rush and Cheryl Allison from the movie Illness. And this is a film that has brought a family together, if you will, of new people working together.
Yes, it has.
How so?
Well, we all played, we all wore different hats for this movie. I obviously was the lead actress, but I also was the music supervisor, and I worked with Karina, our producer's son, in scoring the film.
Oh, how very nice. So there will be a soundtrack coming out soon.
Well, no, not for 15 minutes, but it was a great experience. It really was. And so it was a group effort, and that's what I think gave it that family feel.
Now, how is Linda, who actually got you here today? We got this call late last night. Linda
Yes.
Cruz going, "Hi, I know I was going to be a guest tomorrow, but I have other people I think are more important
We
today,"
love
which
Linda Cruz.
surprised me.
Yes.
Yes.
Linda is a very dear friend of Karina Rush's.
And you all staying together? No.
I didn't, but I think that Karina and
Linda did. Okay.
I think so.
Many years ago. So as you came together as a family working on this film, this is going to be the same group that will go on and do the full-length feature if this comes together and other projects? Or
Yes.
where do you envision this group going together, your ensemble?
Well, there's already another script that's completed that
Okay.
Karina and Jonathan are now pitching that has already been in the top 3 at the New Hampshire International Film Festival
Okay.
for screenplays. And it's also in the California Independent Film Festival. And it's called Max's Fantastic Adventure, the Adventures of the Lost Souls.
Let's see. And we have a question from one of our Actors eChatters today.
Actually, I just wanted to mention that Linda Cruz,
Yes.
she's taking care of the marketing aspect of the short film.
So she's also now a publicist, news anchor, model extraordinaire,
She got us on
producer,
here already.
director.
I know.
Darn, man, she's just adding to her resume skills.
And let's look at all of their websites so that we know where.
Absolutely. So let's see if you can
There's
help me
our-
identify.
that's
That's your
our-
Indiegogo.
That was Indiegogo, and this is our IMDb page.
Make sure
for
you like
Illness.
these pages when
Absolutely,
you go
and please
to them.
rate Illness on IMDb because it helps the
Oh,
film.
really? Okay, and,
And
make
this is
sure
our
you like
Illness
this.
Facebook page,
Right.
and you can like it. In fact, the likes are already going up.
And invite
See?
your friends to like it, and here so
Exactly.
they can actually follow the movie on
Right.
Twitter at Illness the Movie.
Illness the movie.
Okay.
Exactly. That is my website.
Should they like this one also?
Of course, they
Okay,
should sign
just
up for my
checking.
mailing list.
Okay, Cheryl Allison.
CherylAllison.net.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you're a .netter. I see.
I'm a
now you are.
.net. Cheryl
And here's your
Allison.
IMDb.
That's
Now,
my
are you
IMDb,
Cheryl
please.
Allison 1, or like, how many Cheryl Allisons are there?
There's only one
Okay,
Cheryl
just wanted
Allison.
to make sure I had that correct.
No.
Okay.
And then that is my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a composer, and I put, well, there's...
So we
there's
see your live
Yeah, and there's
performances
live
also.
performances in
Okay.
concert, that sort of thing.
Now, you're
And,
backwards here at Allison Cheryl.
You know, Twitter,
Yes.
they already had a Cheryl Allison, so they made
How
me be
dare
Allison
they.
Cheryl. So,
Okay.
you know, I answer to anything.
Okay.
Hey, you!
Exactly.
Look at, and this is your
that is my
Facebook
fan page on Facebook.
Okay, so make sure you like that also.
Absolutely.
And invite your friends. By the way, if you didn't know it, on these Facebook pages and other pages, you can invite other people. This is your singing site?
That is my Reverb Nation music page because
I
I
see.
compose production music and license it out.
Okay.
And that's my composing
And that's
page.
Karina Rush's...
That is Karina, and there's her horses, which we have
Okay.
seen. We love. That's her Facebook page.
Okay.
And let's see.
that
and that
would
is
be-
the amazing Linda Cruz,
Exactly.
who
we
is the
will
reason
have
this
as
is all happening.
have as a future guest here on Actors
Yes.
eChat in the future. I know that guy. That's that
think-
guy who can do movie trailer voices for you.
yeah, I was told to stay away
KurtKelly.com.
from him.
Okay. Run like heck!
Yeah.
And
I
there-
think that's
there's
him
my
too.
Facebook
Yeah.
page. Yeah, go like that page.
And are you wearing a cowboy hat?
I actually am. That was in Vegas. We shot that. And there's my
You know.
Twitter page at Kurt Kelly. And,
You're trying to be a Texan there.
well, I actually lived in Dallas
You want to come beyond
when I
Dallas?
worked for ABC. Sure, I'd
There
love
you
to.
go. All right.
I was on Dallas. No, that's not. And then I lived in Houston also.
Oh, I
so
have
I've
all of my
done
relatives
Texas
are in
more than
Houston. Most
more
of
than
my
twice.
relatives.
I loved Houston when I was there. It gets a bad rap sometimes, but there's a lot
It's
of...
humid, but it's great.
Yeah, it was actually a very bizarre experience when ABC flew me there, and I'm getting out of an airplane before we even hit the jetway. When they opened the doors, I felt like I'm in a sauna.
Yeah,
I needed to peel my
exactly.
suit off.
I was
It's a
just there
whole
last
different
week.
Culture, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then you know what I'm talking about. Thank you for joining us
Thank you.
today
It's been a
and for
pleasure.
sharing information, both you and Karina, about the illness and the film, the movie, and the whole thing that we need to start talking more about. Thank you for joining us and all the guests that we have had for Actors eChat.